Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our segment of Peace and Purpose. Welcome to the Peace and Purpose Conference. I am here today with Miss Tracie Collins. She is a phenomenal businesswoman, entrepreneur. She's completely multifaceted. Hello, welcome today. Welcome. Thank you for so much for joining us on Peace and Purpose.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me, so I know you do many things, and one thing that people may continue to attach you to is birthing. I know that you are doing, you're actually, you finishing up your last class with training, people on how to become doulas. So what are you going to do after that?
Well, I mean, I still will, I do still run the NBDA or run the company, but I did teach my final birth doula training. And since we have, great instructors now, they are going to be the ones who are now running the reins of that, taking those other students coming through the NBDA, the National Black Doulas Association, and teaching those students. But for me, I'll be focusing on making sure that the company is running well, that we have a great infrastructure. We're continuing to build upon our foundation well, making sure that we are putting policies and procedures in place to not only continue to empower Black and Brown birthing people and professionals, but really to end this epidemic of us dying as Black birthing bodies.
Yes, I believe I read somewhere that it was Black women have a 6 times of a greater chance of dying in hospitals and during their birthing experience over white women.
Yeah, it is, the rates are alarming, and unfortunately, due to the systemic racism that everyone keeps talking about, and it just seems to be slowly dismantling itself, not fast enough, if you ask me. I think the process is of it being dismantled. We're kind of going about it the wrong way. I just think it just needs to be completely annihilated, and we need to start over and build it from scratch, because otherwise right now we're just putting a Band-Aid on cancer. And until we can have the conversation about putting the bringing Western medicine as it pertains to obstetrics and gynecology in the conversation of, we're defunding the police, if we are changing the educational system, if we are changing the housing laws, if we're doing all of that, Western medicine as it pertains to obstetric and gynecology needs to be within that as well. Because if we're not starting at the beginning, then we are not going to get to the other stuff.
Right, absolutely. And I won't stay here long because I know you do so many other things and I want to cover everything. But why do you think that it is so much more beneficial for women to have doulas and midwives as their professionals while they're going through the birthing process instead of going to the hospital?
Well, they need to have somebody who understands what they're up against, who understands the policies and the procedures, who understands the terminology, who understands the bureaucracy, who understands that whole infrastructure on their side, and who also understands the different phases and stages of the birth process too, during the most vulnerable point in one's life. If you don't have someone like that on your side, and as the liaison between, or the bridge between that, then you are putting yourself in great danger, great danger. And Black women, like somebody who I love dearly, Anya, said, they don't hire doulas to, as a symbol of luxury. They hire them to live.
Absolutely. And I know I actually went, for those that don't know, I went through the training myself. And I know that one of the things that we talked about was that doulas are kind of like supervisory over nurses, because that is we're supposed to be advocates for the mother. And sometimes nurses, they to sometimes not their fault. They have so many different patients, so they're not able to continue to give the attention that is needed, and may not notice a slip on, the mother's vitals, or, they're not paying that close of attention to the machine and noticing like small differences that the doula, who spends so much time with that person specifically, is able to detect. So I believe that it's really important for us to have those kind of advocates for that. So, yeah.
I was going to say, sorry, I'm
That's
managing
good.
like every other woman managing their kids, simultaneously multitasking while we're having this conversation, like
You're
telling them to
good.
be quiet while we're having a conversation, because I think this is important. But absolutely, because nurses are, they have more than one, sometimes like 3, 4, depending upon how busy the floor is, how understaffed they are, because what we're seeing now in the hospitals is that due to these mandates, hospitals are understaffed. So it's important, and it's also imperative that parents and birthing people come prepared to face that, and they have somebody who can help usher them through this vital point in their life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you for being such a huge, you know, standard in this community, for it to be one of the biggest ones who are out there training. And so many people that I reached out to, like during the mentorship piece of it, they're like, oh, you went through Tracie? Yes, I'll be your mentor. So I've made so many different friendships just from you.
Oh, thank you.
People, yeah, absolutely. So I really want to thank you and say how much I appreciate you, and how much I have experienced people telling me that they appreciate you. So
I'm just a mere reflection of y'all, and vice versa. It's like if we just kind of take that on, like we're just a mere reflection of each other, and there's so many things that I learned from you and everybody else. It's like nobody is above of that. We're all here on this journey, trying to figure it out. That's it. That's all. And we're stronger together.
Absolutely. And I think that's why it resonates so loudly, because you feel that. I never felt like there was, any type of hierarchy during the process at all. So it felt like you were really walking beside us. So I appreciate it.
Because I was like, I wasn't trying to sit here. No,
no, you're
like,
good.
y'all want me to do what? Teach? Yeah, that's how I felt in the beginning. Yeah.
Yes. So outside of that all of those wonderful things that you do with mothers, what else? What do you feel like is your purpose?
My purpose. My actual purpose is I'm an advocate for women. I am an advocate for women, and primarily I'm an advocate for Black women because I am one. I'm a Black girl. And I just am trying to leave this place called Earth better than, before I got here. I'm just trying to just do my part. That's it with the gifts and talents that I've been blessed with. And however that looks, no matter if I'm in a space of instruction, or if I'm in a space of artistry, or if I'm in a space of writing, or if I'm bridging it all together, I know I'm going to speak from my perspective. I'm going to speak from my lens. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit because I don't have time. We're all on borrowed time, and I don't have time to pacify what I have to say because of somebody else's feelings, and until we as Black women stop dying, then I got a lot of shit to do. So I try to make sure that resonates across the board, no matter what hat I'm wearing. That got stuff to do, and I'm trying to make sure that I do it to the best of my ability.
Absolutely. So what are some of the other ways that you are advocating for women?
Oh my gosh, I do it through my artistry. I do it in my writing. I do it in my production work. I quietly work constantly on everything that you experienced in being in one of my trainings, Brittany, you know, how do I translate that into a greater, you know, medium so I can educate those who don't know. I don't like preaching to the choir. I'm not going to do that. I would rather talk to people who don't know. I'd rather change those minds or inform them through entertainment and educate them that way. That's where my focus is. That's my focus is like, okay, let me get to a larger audience on a bigger screen, on a larger platform, and make a difference there. Because all of them people in the birth world, that's all well fine and good, but real change is like, let me get to the largest platform and let me shake shit up there. Like that's when I felt like, now that's when I've accomplished something.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of your works that you're working on right now?
Girl, I can't tell you. I'll tell you when that deal is inked. How about that? And so whoever watching this, like, yeah, when that deal is inked, I am a girl of contracts.
Yes. So what are some of the things that you want to work on that the pieces, if you can share, if you're willing to share?
That I want, well, I'm already working on them. Okay. And I will say this, I'm very fortunate to have some Hollywood heavy hitters who believe in me. That's all I can say, you know, and I'm grateful for them. A couple folks in particular who have passed up some serious work because of my work. You know, when you are considered, meaning me, is considered a nobody in that world, for them who's considered a somebody in that world to pass up something for them because of what they believe that I'm bringing forth is important. That says something. So I'm so grateful to them for that.
Absolutely.
So I just want to be better. I just want to be better than anybody. I just want to be the best version of me. I'm in competition with myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we are our greatest competition. You're just constantly upgrading ourselves, just like we upgrade our phones.
Constantly upgrading, and that's why we have to silence ourselves from the noise of the world. I love silence. I love silence. I love peace. I love silence because I can hear that way. I can hear what I need to do. I can download that way. I can receive messages. I can receive clear direction. If I'm convoluted with noise, then I can't hear. I mean, if I can't hear, then I can't work. I don't know what steps to take. I don't know which direction to go. So I'm grateful for that, like silence, so I can think.
Absolutely. You went right into where I was going.
Where are you going?
I appreciate that. I was about to ask you, how do you find your peace? How do you find that?
Peace. I play in the dirt. This is my version of playing in the dirt. Like I literally play in the dirt. I play with plants. I spend a lot of time with honey, my honey. I create businesses. As part of me finding my peace is actually creating businesses. I drink coffee in the morning. I talk to my ancestors and I pray.
Yeah,
that's how I find peace.
Yes. And I love how you encourage others to do the same.
Just the little things. And life is so simple. We make it so hard.
Yeah. I strongly believe that we're definitely a product of our environment, and we create our environments. I believe that mindfulness is extremely important. Finding your peace is important, and as you're finding your peace, I believe you find your purpose. You kind of stumble upon it. Some people believe that there's a direct roadmap to, finding your purpose or happiness, love, joy, different things that are things that a lot of people express that they want, but you bounce and back and forth until you finally get to a place where you sometimes you look up and like, wow, I'm here. I didn't even realize it.
And that's one of the things that people ask me, like, well, what's your definition. When they're like, oh, success. And I'm like, well, what's your definition of success? Like, because to me, like, there's no, what resonates for you as successful may not resonate for me. Like, to me, success is health. Like, success is like peace of mind. You know, you'll be amazed at how a lot of people don't have peace of mind or peace at home. You know, and that's success, you know, or to where you don't have to work so hard for the dollar. Like, that's peace. A lot of people have to work hard for a dollar. And we need to, I think that is a lie. Everybody has been sold. So there's ways that we can change our own narrative. Like, how do we do that? And so when you get into what you just said, what does that mean for you? There's no straight lines to success. So, I mean, straight lines in nature. So that means there's not going to be any straight lines to success. So what is that? So define it for yourself, whatever that looks like. It's okay. And as long as you aren't hurting yourself or anybody else, then move in that.
Absolutely.
And you don't owe anybody any explanation.
Ooh, say it again. Yes, that's one of the biggest things that holds people back is trying to find an explanation or doing something in a way that is appeasing to someone else. And most of the time it's multiple people, and it's people that you don't even know anything about. So why do you care about what they care about you?
Yeah. Or people are in competition with, it's like, that's not even necessary, you know. So, and setting proper boundaries and saying no.
Yes.
So when we have tunnel vision focus, we can really align ourselves with our purpose.
Absolutely. And so for someone that is having an issue with finding their alignment or does not know what that looks like, what advice do you give to them?
I love that question. My advice would be to, number one, get back to what it is that you loved to do when you were little. Remember who that person was. Now, what did they like to do? What made them happy? Okay, now that we know who that is, how do you do that all the time? Now let's figure out how to make money at it. Okay, but in the midst of all of that, how do we silence out the world? Making sure that you cultivate space of peace and quiet, and getting rid of anything that doesn't serve that little person and where that little person needs to go and grow, and making sure in the meantime you are forgiving yourself and giving yourself a ton of grace. And it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. And a lot of I would say that's part of shadow work. That's a part of your shadow work. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, the journey in spirituality is all love and light. It's all rainbows and unicorns and sunshine. But they don't realize that sometimes you go through some of your biggest hardships, quote unquote. And I believe that I don't really look at things in a negative sense. I believe that everything is contrasting. So, and I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in coinciding events. So everything that happens feeds, you know, it's for something else to happen. You know, sometimes we meet someone that is completely, you know, necessary to our next journey. And we don't know, we didn't, you know, it could have been at the coffee shop, standing in line at the grocery store. Or, you know, if we're having a hard time, you know, you pay for someone's groceries because, you know, they didn't have the money, and it turns out they work at rolling out, or I don't know, you know, are a, you know, instructor and can lead you, you know, to someone else, or lead you to something that you know, your dream, or something that you may not know that you have, you know, would have wanted to do. You just never know. I believe in a lot of times, I think that another big thing with it is how you interpret your journey, how you interpret your lessons, your hardships. It's how you look at it. You know, I feel like there is a lesson in everything. So how do you interpret your hardships or, undesirable experiences that you may have gone through to get to where you are today?
I'm grateful for them because they made me the person that I am today. And I never want to forget them.
Mhm.
And I was going through an old file folder I had earlier today, and it had been in my office for forever. And I started just cleaning it out. And as I'm cleaning it out, I found myself getting really emotional. And I'm getting emotional because I was pulling out documents that were bringing up hard times of my life.
Mhm.
And and but it made me so grateful. It like made me so grateful. Like it made me so grateful to where I come from. It made me so grateful for the journey. And I never want to forget it. And sometimes I'll keep certain things because I never want to forget that time, because that's what gives me my drive to never go back. But I never want to forget that experience. So I'm okay with failure as long as I learn a lesson. And if I learn the lesson, then it's not a failure. It's a lesson learned. So I encourage people, like, don't be afraid to fail. Like, you want to fail, like, hurry. Like, I'm like, let's just get this lesson. Like, come on, I got shit to do.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do. Come on, where's the lesson? Okay, come on. Okay, I got it. You may feel bad for a little bit. Oops, my bad. And like, it's a part of the process. And you're gonna fail more times than you succeed. The difference is are you gonna give up or not? That's where the difference lies. And in the midst of all of that, I was really grateful. Like, what I was seeing and was that I didn't give up. So that was what I would want people to know, is like, it will feel hard and it's supposed to. That's what labor is. Labor is an example of life. Labor is just, I think birth is just an actual visualization of life. It's like there's something that's implanted, it grows, and in order for it to be birthed, you have to go through excruciating pain to morph something beautiful. And that's what then you have to go do it again, and then you forget the body has a beautiful way of allowing us to forget, for our protection. But as long as we elevate each time, then we do it better and better and better.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. Just talking about the birthing process and relating it to life. So many different things, and just the nourishment that is important during the growing of that seed. It's like people expect things to happen overnight. You don't get pregnant and then deliver the next day.
Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
And that's why I don't like the misconception of social media. Social media has everybody fooled. Social media thinks that there's like everything is instant gratification and that you don't have to work and grind. People don't show their struggles on social media. They either lying or they'll show like the top. They don't show when shit is bad or they got negative zeros in their bank account. They don't show that.
Exactly.
They don't show when they up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning trying to figure it out, or they're trying to figure out like, am I gonna pay, for gas or food? They don't show that stuff. And but they don't realize in the meantime or in the interim that people actually resonate with authenticity. And that's what people are missing. And people are missing the human or the interpersonal connection, because that's what people can relate to. Like, oh, okay, I see you and me, or I see me and you, like I can relate. And then like when you have that connection, like that's when you have your person that you can grasp onto. Everybody needs somebody that they can like see themselves in, like, oh, okay, I believe you give me hope.
Absolutely. And that's, you just keep going, you keep leading, you keep going where I'm going. Yes, I'm loving it. I was going to ask, like, who did you lean on? Who helped you through those, those rough times? And it could be more than one person.
I mean, of course, I would definitely say my mom. Like it's just different periods of my life. My children are my reason why. They're whatever your purpose is, you always have to find your reason why, because you're not going to be your reason why. I mean, you can't be your reason why. That's stupid, because you ain't gonna ever, you're not going to always feel like it. Like Tracie doesn't always feel like it. Tracie doesn't want to do shit. Tracie doesn't know, you know, but like my reason why. And then definitely my kids. And then you know, I'm not like a person who attaches themselves to like celebrity people. Like I don't, that's never been, yeah, it's always, yeah, no, it's always, it's, I've been a mom since I was 16. So I would definitely say my kids. And now that I'm older, it's, it's, I'm just paying my dues, paying my rent on here on earth. So as long as I know I'm doing right by Brittany, because whatever I said, because I've, you know, so many people have come through, you know, me, but whatever I said to you on that day or that weekend, whatever it was, it resonated and it brought us here. You know what I mean? Like that means something. And so I didn't know that we would have this conversation or you would reach out for this, you know, I didn't know that. And so I definitely believe in you should always treat people well, because you never know. And somebody's always watching.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody is always watching. My mom always taught me when I was little, you don't know if you're entertaining an angel, you know, an angel, an ancestor, just, you know, whatever our viewers, you know, believe in. It's just like, you just don't know. You don't know. So you should always act in your highest self. Always act in your highest being. Yeah, and it's just that's the golden principle of, you know, treating someone as you would want to be treated.
A lot of people don't though.
Yeah, it's so it's ridiculous how uncommon it is.
Yeah.
Like even just making eye contact with people, you know, smiling. It's like a lot of the times we move in such a fast-paced world, first off, and we are, you know, some people just want to be seen. I did a lot of volunteer work with the homeless community this time last year, and I'm speaking to a lot of them on the street over in Edgewood area, Little Five Points as well, and they were saying, like, even over food, over money, just look at me, look me in my eyes. They feel invisible. They don't feel human anymore. Yeah. You know, it's like they, you know, life has, you know, led them to a certain position where they are, and they just, it's like they fall off the face of the planet. They're invisible to people.
And that could be you.
Yes, exactly. It's only one decision, one life change away. One life change away.
And sometimes those circumstances are beyond our control. So yeah.
Yeah, years ago, the statistic was 99% of the homeless internationally have a mental health diagnosis. 99% of them. And I think it might have been 80% of those are veterans. And so it's like that's a whole nother story that I won't get into. But you know, someone, you know, that has, you know, given blood and life and their childhood experiences over, and we don't even take care of them when they're here. And not only do we not take care of them, we shun them, you know, denying them the basic necessities of life. So yeah, it's just really important to acknowledge people. You never know what someone is going through. You know, you can have all the money in the world and still be dead inside, you know, still not have peace. Money does not equal peace, and peace does not equal money. You know, they're wonderful to have and they can support one another, but it's important to find your peace. Yeah, and keep close to those principles. So getting ready to close us out, I will ask you, what are 2 books that you would recommend to those that have helped you along your journey in whatever way?
Books. Oh my goodness.
Books or quotes, whichever one fits you best.
Well, quote for sure. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
Mm, mm,
That's an African proverb.
mm.
That one for sure. So I think that's why I spend so much time educating women.
Yeah.
And book. Honestly, the book that I cannot get through, but I'm gonna get through it, and I know, and I can't get through because it hurts. Is medical apartheid.
Yeah, you mentioned. Oh,
Yeah, and I have it on Audible and the book. And I was just talking about this book last night, and I'm committed to, and I only say that because it's just the nature of my work, also because of my writing and my artistry. It's imperative that I get through this book because I have so much to pull from it. Shoot. And then, I mean, I can go on and on, but even and I don't even think this, I know it's, but her story, and it's been done before. But we see it played out time and time again as the story of Sarah Bartman. It's her story. And I say it because we as Black women are what we look like, is not considered the standard of beauty, but we're always duplicated. So I'm going to put her in a story somehow, some way. Also, I don't know where we're going with this or where I'm going with this, but Audre Lorde, oh my God. Audre Lorde is, I gotta get in her, she's on my mind. And then also Zora Neale Hurston, them two writer ancestors. They call on me a lot, and I don't know how they want me to bring them forward, but I will be bringing them forward somehow, some way. So that's a book, Medical Apartheid, the quote, and the art for me.
That's beautiful.
And they're all Black women. They're all Black women because we're the shit.
We are. We truly are. We truly are. And I would even go to say that we are the standard of beauty. They just make it seem like we're not. We completely.
Well, that's why they tap us for everything, though.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like a lot of things that they hid from. They're embracing now. The lip fillers, the butts, everything. This stuff. We're just in our ways. Not even it goes beyond our appearance, but our ways. So yeah, I love it. I so appreciate this conversation.
Thank you too, Brittany.
I could go on and
beautiful.
on. Thank you, and I hope to have you back again soon.
I would love to.
Yes, you're a wonderful person, businesswoman.
Thank you.
Just thank you so much for joining us here on Peace and Purpose, and I hope to see you guys back again soon.